In a peculiar dwelling known as the House of Liars, there lived a young boy named Betoy. Betoy was known for his tall tales. He took pride in his ability to weave elaborate lies, often boasting about his imaginary exploits.
Oh, you should have seen the size of the frog, Bibby. It was as big as a house and could talk.
Betoy's older brother, Bibby, was his polar opposite. Bibby valued honesty and truthfulness above all else. He often found himself at odds with Betoy, trying to guide his brother towards a path of integrity.
Betoy, why do you always feel the need to lie? Honesty is always the best policy.
Betoy simply shrugged off his brother's words, his mind already concocting his next grand fabrication. Betoy's parents, weary of his constant fibbing, had tried every tactic imaginable to curb his behavior. They had reasoned with him, punished him, and even rewarded him for telling the truth. However, nothing seemed to deter Betoy from his deceitful ways.
Oh, we watched this amazing fantasy movie with talking animals and magic forests.
One evening, after watching a particularly scary movie with Bibby, Betoy's parents asked him about the film. Instead of admitting that he had watched a horror movie, Betoy claimed that they had enjoyed a light-hearted fantasy film.
Rolling eyes. Yeah, right.
Betoy's parents, aware of his tendency to embellish the truth, saw an opportunity to teach him a valuable lesson. They decided to turn the tables on their son and give him a taste of his own medicine. Little did Betoy know that his parents' plan would have far-reaching consequences. The following morning, Betoy awoke to an eerie silence. His parents, usually bustling about the kitchen, were nowhere to be found. Bibby, too, seemed to have vanished. Confused and slightly alarmed, Betoy searched the house from top to bottom, but his family was gone. Just when panic began to set in, Betoy discovered a note on the kitchen table addressed to him.
Gone fishing? Be back soon, don't worry, we'll bring back candy. This is strange.
The note, written in his parents' handwriting, claimed that they had gone fishing for the day and would be back soon. Betoy, however, couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. His parents had never gone fishing without him before. As the hours turned into days and his family still hadn't returned, Betoy began to realize the gravity of the situation. Unbeknownst to Betoy, his parents and Bibby had not gone fishing. Instead, they had stumbled upon a peculiar traveling carnival on the outskirts of town. Intrigued by a tent with the words "The Legend of a Liar" emblazoned across the front, they decided to investigate. Inside the tent, they encountered a mysterious old wizard who claimed to have the power to cure any ailment.
I'll bet you know just the cure for your predicament.
The wizard listened intently as Betoy's parents poured their hearts out, lamenting their son's chronic lying. When they finished their tale, the wizard chuckled softly.
I will cast a spell that will make your son understand the true consequences of his actions.
His eyes twinkled mischievously as he spoke, setting the stage for Betoy's life-changing lesson. With a wave of his gnarled hand and a muttered incantation, the wizard cast his spell. A strange energy filled the tent, causing Betoy's parents and Bibby to gasp in surprise. When the smoke cleared, the wizard was gone, and so too were Betoy's parents and Bibby. However, they were not gone in the traditional sense. The wizard's spell had not made them disappear physically, but rather had erased Betoy from their memories entirely. S5. It is done.
So, do we have any candy at home?
They emerged from the tent, disoriented and confused. They remembered their lives, their home, and even their love for each other, but any recollection of Betoy had vanished from their minds. They wandered back towards town, unaware that a vital piece of their family was missing. Back at the House of Liars, Betoy's initial fear and confusion gradually gave way to a profound sense of loneliness and regret. He realized that his constant lying had driven a wedge between him and the people he loved most. The weight of his deceit pressed down on him, heavy and suffocating.
Why did I lie so much? What have I done?
Days turned into weeks, and Betoy's hope of his family's return dwindled with each passing moment. He wandered the empty house, his footsteps echoing through the silent rooms. He longed for the sound of his mother's laughter, the comforting presence of his father, and even the playful banter of his sister Bibby.
I miss them so much. I wish I could take it all back.
Betoy clutched the note from his parents while tears streamed down his face, realizing the true cost of his lies. One evening, as Betoy sat by the window watching the sun set, a wave of determination washed over him.
I vow to change my ways. I will dedicate my life to honesty and truthfulness, no matter the cost.
He knew that he couldn't bring his family back on his own, but he could at least honor their memory by living a life worthy of their love. Betoy tore the note from his parents into tiny pieces, a physical representation of his commitment to shed his deceitful past. He spent his days practicing his honesty, speaking only the truth, even when it was difficult or uncomfortable. He knew that regaining his family's love and trust would be a long and arduous journey, but he was determined to see it through. Driven by his newfound purpose, Betoy set out to find the traveling carnival where his parents and Bibi had disappeared.
I traveled from town to town, following rumors and chasing leads.
Finally, after weeks of searching, he found himself standing before the familiar tent with the words, "The Legend of a Liar," emblazoned across the front. Betoy's heart pounded in his chest as he stepped inside the dimly lit tent. The air was thick with the scent of incense and the sound of crackling energy. In the center of the tent stood the wizard, his eyes glowing with an eerie light. He recognized Betoy instantly, and a knowing smile spread across his wrinkled face.
So you have returned. Have you learned your lesson, young Betoy?
Betoy met the wizard's gaze without flinching. The wizard studied Betoy for a long moment, his expression unreadable. Finally, he nodded slowly. S1. Yes, I have learned the error of my ways. I understand the pain that my lies have caused, and I am committed to living a life of honesty.
Very well. You have proven yourself worthy of a second chance. But be warned, the path to redemption is not always easy. Are you willing to face the consequences of your actions and fight for your family's love?
Yes, I will do whatever it takes to earn back their trust. Narrator, Betoy didn't hesitate.
The wizard smiled, a genuine smile this time, devoid of mischief or malice. With another wave of his hand and a muttered incantation, he lifted the spell cast upon Betoy's family. The tent swirled around Betoy, and when the dizziness subsided, he found himself standing on familiar ground in front of a very familiar house. Betoy raced towards the house, his heart pounding with anticipation and hope. As he burst through the front door, he was met with the sight of his parents and Bibi gathered in the living room. They turned to face him, their eyes filled with confusion at first, but then recognition dawned on their faces, followed by a wave of love and relief so powerful that it brought tears to Betoy's eyes. He had finally come home. From that day forward, Betoy remained true to his word. He lived a life of honesty and integrity, cherishing his family and the lessons he had learned. The House of Liars became a place of laughter and love, a testament to the transformative power of truth and the unbreakable bonds of family.